Hey, what's up? My name's Derek. I'm a comic book artist, and today we are going to be taking a look through my newly completed sketchbook. This one was made specifically for Instagram comics, and we're going to do a little baby mini review slash flip through of this thing.
Quit stealing and hogging up my feelings.
So I actually got this sketchbook from the Waste Shed, which is what is this basically? It's like a creative reuse center. It's located in Chicago, where I'm at, right on Kimball. So if you're in the Chicago area, definitely go by there. You can find some really awesome stuff. I actually got this for really cheap, and it looks like they don't make this kind of sketchbook anymore. So like I'm on Amazon right now, and it says it's like out of stock, currently unavailable. But which kind of blows because I actually really liked it. The paper in here is pretty thin, but it's actually really durable, as you'll see. It's wire bound, wire bound. It's 8 by 8 inches, so it's perfect for posting onto Twitter, Instagram, all that kind of stuff. And that's basically what I used this book for. Is I have two Instagram comics in here that I made just specifically for Instagram. Probably, I don't know if I'll ever print them, who knows. But the front is pretty durable. This thing can take a beating, as you can see. It gets pretty dinged up, but this didn't affect any of the paper in here. And I think, how many pages is in this? So 32. Looks like this retailed for about, this was probably like $20, I guess. Like I said, I got it used, or it had been given to this place called the Waste Shed, basically to be resold at whatever price you could just pay. So I think I got this for like $8, maybe. All right, so let's get into it. So this first story that's in this is this was my Inktober book. This is what I used for Inktober. Let's just flip through. This was a story called Urges that I did. And as you can see, man, this paper, this is like ink. This is ink with a brush. And the paper takes it really well. This is really thin, almost sketchbook paper, but it's really smooth, which was nice, because I guess you can use this for marker, for painting. But yeah, no bleed through, which is really good. And sits pretty flat. The only thing I don't like about wire bound is that I draw right-handed, so I think if I drew left-handed, it wouldn't bother me as much. But I'm always drawing this way, so it was kind of like a pain where I had to constantly kind of make sure that my hand wasn't bumping up against the wireframe. But yeah, I was really happy with this paper. It didn't bleed. When I would put pencils on it, the pencils didn't really beat up the paper as well. I could erase pretty easily. And this was a really fun story. This was once again an Inktober comic. When I first started this, I was basically trying to just use this book up within 30 days. So I wasn't utilizing the back because I also wasn't sure if there was going to be bleed through or not. But as you'll see as we go through this, I do start to use the backs of each page. And also this takes, is there whiteout on this? Yeah, this takes Presto pretty well. You can see sort of that there's a little bit of Presto on there. And yeah, didn't mess the paper up at all. So eventually, let's see. Once again, pretty cool stuff here. So this one actually tore out because I wanted to put this page before this page. So that's the only reason why this page isn't connected. But doesn't really matter. Slammed. More whiteout. Like I said, usually sometimes when you put Presto on paper, it'll yellow over time, but this is held up really well. So I have 2 blank pieces of paper in here. I don't know why. But, as you can see, I then start using both sides of the paper. And this was fun. This was like a fun little story to do. Boom. Boom. See? So, this paper is really sick because it's really thin. Like, I'm gonna keep harping on that because usually thin and ink do not go together really well. And you don't see any of this on this, which is really awesome. And like I said, this is really heavy ink too. This is like speedball. So this stuff is like basically like gunk. And yeah, man, didn't bleed through the page at all. This was a really fun scene. I was actually intending on stretching out this whole comic just to be a transformation scene, but I was posting these once a day because this was for Inktober, and basically I was kind of like, well, this is going to be really boring to look at for 30 days if it's just a transformation sequence. A little sex scene in there, a little controversial. Not sure. Got that going on. This was a really fun sequence to draw. I drew this hand really big, and I didn't mean to do that, but I was just like, whatever. It actually looks kind of cool, that big, so whatever. I was actually really happy with my inks on this this comic. Yeah, like my inks, I was really, really, really happy with. This is pretty gnarly. Gotta call this the Dick Buster when this came out. Love the so this book too, this story, I really, before this I always kind of drew my blood out. Like I would draw it and then ink it with like a micron or something. And this time I was like, you know what, man, I really want there to be a lot of black in this comic because I was only using one color over top of this. So yeah, I don't know, it really helps to just add more depth to your page by making your blood black. Yeah, man. And this whole, like, and you can see like the whiteout once again on here. This should be safe for work. I mean, you're not seeing anything. But yeah, the whiteout usually on I've had other sketchbooks where the whiteout basically turns like yellow, and this didn't happen. I guess this paper is just really good at that. And then that's the end of this story. Oh man, let's go into here real quick. This is like some of the coolest body tearing stuff I've ever drawn. Like, I kind of figured out that when you're gonna tear the body apart like this, really try to think in like X's, Y's, and Z's. Yeah, that really helped me just kind of get this like depth going on here. This was a really fun page to draw. This is another story that I'm actually serializing now on Instagram, and I actually did this for a pitch because I wanted to pitch like a square bound kind of comic to a publisher. So that's this story. Once again, I scanned this in and then colored this digitally. And yeah, man, this is a fun one, fun little body horror. Actually, two things inspired this story. Was me going to go visit my friends, and we were trying to take pictures of their kid, and the kid got really freaked out when we brought out our phones. And so I was really like kind of inspired because I was like, what does she see? I wonder what she sees when people are pointing camera phones at them. And I also watched the body horror movie Society by Brian Yuzna. You should check it out if you've never seen it. Also gotten here with some Cool Erase. You might not really be able to see it, but the Cool Erase pencils are really awesome. Yeah, I really like using those. Because I don't really like erasing, because I mostly ink now. I do all my line art with Tombos. And here, once again, so this is one thing that'll happen, is there will be a little bit of bananaing. I believe it's called bananaing. Is that a word? I know in the card game, like, I know in the card world, like, cards will banana over time. So if you're putting like a lot of ink on these pages, this will unfortunately happen, which was kind of a pain in the ass to deal with, but it sort of flattens out over time. It sort of flattens itself out. But yeah, this was a really fun panel to do. This is just like, this was like another thing where I kind of figured out for stuff like this. I looked at either, who was it? It wasn't Barry Windsor Smith. It was God, what is that guy's name? Bernie Wrightson. I looked at Bernie Wrightson for inspiration on his body horror, like, cause he worked on The Thing. He did a lot of the concept art on The Thing and a bunch of other stuff. But he does these really cool implied like blobular forms that are like bunched up next to each other. You can do this cool little like diamond, like black little like kind of diamond shape, or like a triangle, and that kind of gives it this weird like depth of like two or three circular shapes like mashing into each other, and you're just drawing like the part where they mash into each other. It's really cool. I really love this panel. This panel too, where it's just kind of they kind of like sink into each other really well too, which I really like. And the kid's just like, what the fudge? This was a fun one as well. It's more like kind of like rip body horror stuff. Let's see. And I mean, the fact that you can just do a whole comic in one of these and post them to Instagram is really cool. Although Instagram now like has like no engagement. So I'm really late to the game. I really should have been doing this about like 5 years ago. But I'm just kind of late to the format. But I actually really like just doing like, you know, a panel per page is really kind of fun because you can draw a lot bigger. This is 8 inches by 8 inches. So you can really get in there and make sure your line work is nice and tight, which is really fun. Yeah, and so here's some more cool erase thrown on here. The cool thing about these cool erase bins is that you don't have to erase, because once again, like Tombos are really awesome for like control. It gives you like this brush line, but like a lot more control than just using a brush. But what happens when you go to erase that, the ink that's inside of a Tombow is very kind of translucent. It does not take to being erased really well. And a lot of times you'll erase it and your black line will turn gray. And hey Siri, stop timer. Once that line turns gray, it's a real big battle in Photoshop when you go to boost out, when you try to go boost it up with like contrast and stuff. It really takes a lot of time. Oftentimes I've had to go and re-ink the panel that I've erased. But I found the trick is just to use these cool erase. So when you scan this in, all you have to do is just boost out the red in this, and all this will go away and your blacks will still be maintained, your ink. So I kind of transitioned from my pencils to just using these cool erase because I was really getting tired of erasing. I hate erasing as well. I love this panel. I really love her face in this panel. Still getting used to drawing hair. After all these years, I still suck at drawing hair. Got to keep the failure shirt in there. And then, yeah. And then that's the end. So I have like a blank page and a couple of blank pages in here. So technically didn't use the whole sketchbook, as they say, but I got the most use out of it. Yeah, like I kind of use this page as just like a mess around page, just to kind of see how the paper worked with markers. Works really well. This is gouache. So yeah, this paper, all in all, man, this paper, I don't mind this paper. I don't mind this sketchbook. I would definitely say if you can get your hands on one, definitely do it for like if you want to do like an Instagram comic or like a Twitter comic or anywhere where there's like a square format. This is pretty awesome. I would honestly give this like a, if we're doing like a 10 out of 10, I would give it like I'd probably give it like a 9.5 out of 10. The only thing that sucks about it is that the paper is so thin that if you use any, like if you were to use gouache on this, this thing would you know, it would be very like ruffled. Like your paper is gonna get really ruffled and warped. And that was happening a lot when I would use like heavy ink. This paper would really get kind of roughed up. But it never buckled. Like the only time it really buckled for some odd reason was this page. Like this page really buckled really hard. But other than that, the paper held up really well. No bleed throughs. The paper didn't bleed at all when I was putting my ink lines down, which is really important. So yeah, if you can get your hands on this, let's see if these guys actually make any. Let's see what else they do. So we're looking at Crescent. It's a Crescent Rendr, no show-through paper drawing pad. Okay, so yeah, they actually still. Oh wow, they really don't make anything. All their stuff is like kind of out of stock. They might be done. Maybe they're just not in business anymore. No, they are. Okay. Yeah, you can get a sketchbook from them. I definitely would. Rendr Crescent Creative is the makers of this joint. So yeah. Let's pay some bills. Right now, this channel is brought to you by me. I'm a comic book artist and an illustrator, so I do both of those things, and I make books and I make prints. This is a not safe for work zine, so I can't really show you too much of, but this is like a new zine I put out pretty recently called Knife Party. It's inspired by a Deftones song, and it gets very gory. So if you're into gore and kind of, you know, hot girls, oh shit. If you're into hot girls and gore, this zine is for you. It can be purchased on my Etsy page. Urges is mine and my buddy Eric Freitas. This is our body horror comic, body horror love story. It's about a girl who transforms into a crazy kind of like vampiric monster, but her body always changes into something different, but it kind of keeps this form, but sometimes she'll have wings. She just gets weird upgrades that we kind of don't really explain because it's body horror and we just want to really just show just cool different transformations. But it's all in all, it's like a love story. This thing rules. This is the first issue. Issue 2 is coming out pretty soon. This was funded through Kickstarter, so thank you guys so much. We also have a variant cover of this book. Once again, these both can be purchased on my Etsy. This is the same. This is issue 1, but just different cover. Pretty cool. And then we have one of my sketchbooks. This is Mecha Works Volume 1. This is actually sold out physically, but you can get a digital version of this. This is in Inktober, where I just drew mechs for 30 days. So it has a bunch of different mechs in there. It's got Astro Boy, Striker Eureka, bunch of Gundams, God Gundam right here, Space Mullet, from one of my favorite comics, Astro Boy, Mazinger Z, Mega Man EXE, Mecha Geef. This is a Panzer Liger, Optimus and Megatron. So if you like mechs, definitely grab this. You can get the digital form. We only printed up a couple of these, so I don't know if I'm really gonna put them back because it's a really big book, but it's really awesome, so check that out. I also have prints and I do commissions and stuff on my Etsy, so go there, check that out. Your support would be greatly appreciated. I also just started a Patreon as well, where you'll get videos and drawings and stuff way sooner than people will get it if they're on my Instagram or anything else.